We're off on a trip in our van, swapping the sun, sand and waves of Nalu Station in the north and head to a place called Donnybrook in the southwest of Western Australia. We free camp at a winery just outside of town. I've heard of massive carp being pulled from the dams in the local area and head down on a mission to try and catch one for myself. We also go past a farm where we buy some marron, which is a freshwater crayfish and delicacy of the local area. Come with us as we explore the region and the best that it has to offer. It's free to stay at Donnybrook Winery. They have their cellar door on site and we headed in to try some of their wines. So here's our breakfast setup in the morning at Thompson's Estate Winery. Don't know where the lambs have gone. Some cows over there. Got the Blue Weber cooking up the breakfast. What we are going to do this morning that'll knock your socks off. Everybody probably remembers these from their childhood, or a lot of people at least. The old toad in the hole. So we've whacked the middles out of there and we're going to put some eggs in the bread and cook them up. So these are the toads in the holes. Get toast and eggs all in one go. Don't throw away those because you dip your baked beans with those. Just running around quickly, we've got some beef, cheese, chili sausages from Good Food Butchery and Kitchen with some tomatoes, mushrooms, bacon. Keep our energy up for today. Alright. The trick with the toad in the holes, just get the egg in the hole. I don't know why they're called toads in the hole, to be honest. It's more like eggs in the hole, but that one like a car crash. There we go, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes and we'll have a toad in the hole. Just while waiting for that breakfast to cook, I thought I'd say a little bit about this barbecue. It's the Weber 2800N Plus from memory. And people caravanning will say, why didn't you get the baby Weber or the Ziggy caravanning barbecue? Well, I like to barbecue, and this one here just gives us more options out on the road. We've got these two burners. That one there, that's like a high sear, or you can run it as a low and slow cook, or both combined. You know, you can do your roasts and that kind of thing. It's also a bit more room underneath the plate and underneath the lid. So people might say, why did you go the baby blue? I could say you know, my wife said it was the nicest colour, but the truth is, just always like blue Webers, even though this is a bit baby bluer than the blue Webers that I do like. Just couldn't walk past it. So yeah, hopefully in a future video we'll do a low and slow on the 2800 NQ Plus Weber, if that's what it's even called, and see how that turns out. So this is how we're looking with the toads in the hole. Look at that, it's like a sunrise. Let's see how we go flipping them though, could be disaster. That one worked. So did that one. Okay, we're just about ready to rock and roll. We called into Smallwater Estate for a wine tasting and stayed for lunch. The food was really good for a small town like this. We had the marron pie, again a delicacy and something that you won't see on menus probably anywhere else in the world. So that's the roasted pork belly with some red cabbage and apple slaw, and this is the highlight. This is a marron pie, and we're going to have a look at the marron that's in that, and that is the gourmet deliciousness of the southwest. After lunch, we headed back into town and stopped past Shag Brewery. It's just been opened by a local family who produce cider from fruit off their own farm and the surrounding areas. The jerky is amongst the best I've ever eaten, also produced from cattle from their own farm. Not sure that I would have passed a sobriety test at this point of the day. They are bloody delicious. So we've moved from Nalu station down to the lower southwest of Western Australia, a place called Donnybrook. And we're going to mix it up. They're probably not going to get a red emperor, but I've got it on very good authority that there's carp in these waters. I'm not going to eat them, just going to try and catch them. And apparently they love corn, so I'm going to give it a go, and we'll be back when I'm pulling in the big ones. So I've been told the secret to carp fishing is to belly up, and to belly up hard. Belly up with corn, and apparently you put some garlic powder in it, but I don't have garlic powder, so I'm just going to belly up.
Maybe the garlic powder is the difference. We'll see. Look at that for a cast on the brand new Shimano Sienna combo for carp fishing on corn. Apparently there's tortoises in here as well. Hopefully not going to catch a snapping turtle. I tell you what, big freaking carp. They're actually an invasive species, so we won't be putting it back for people who like to catch and release, which, you know, we sometimes do. Okay, so there's no carp here in this spot. We'll move further down where there's definitely going to be some carp. Carps. Oh yeah. Yep, that's the carps right there. So I've set my drag loose in case we get a big carp. Don't want to get busted off. We'll come back when we've got one on. So clearly no carps in here tonight, but I reckon there might be more of a morning fish, so let's go stoke the fire up and we'll come back tomorrow, see how we go. Okay, there's something just there. So coming towards us. Too quick for a turtle. And turtles are pretty quick in water, from what I've heard. The carp that we came for, look at him. Bright red. I knew it was too quick for a turtle. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, look at him. Come back. We're going to be on here. Let's go. Take the bait. They're smashing up. Never caught a goldfish. Don't know how I actually feel about it. Guess I'll know after I get one. I've just loosened my drag. Ready for the big one. It's going to take that and it's going to fly.
Legend has it that disputes over land and territory are still settled on the battlefield in this little town. This is out at the marron farm that I mentioned earlier, where we stopped by to pick up a few marron for dinner. You are able to catch them from the local streams and rivers, but only for a couple of weeks every year. It is highly illegal, and you'll be fined massively if you're caught catching these out of season.
Beauty. Here's a little boy. So we're going to cook these up tonight. We're going to put them out of their misery. We're going to cook them over jarrah flames with a garlic butter on some white artisan bread. Look at this guy. It's got these for $60 a kilo. They're the seconds. See, this one's only got one claw, not two. But support the local guys. Fingers. Use the natural Samba firelighters. They take a little bit more to get going, but they don't have the chemical smells of the other ones. Just build it in a grid pattern. This is Western Australian jarrah. Probably, I don't know, might be debatable across the world, but many would argue the best hardwood that you can use for barbecuing, direct grilling, pizza ovens. It's going to be worth more than gold in years to come. The state government has shut down the forestry in Western Australia. So if you do need to use a lot of this stuff, you're better off buying it now and putting it away for the future. Jarrah is a hot burning wood. It's a clean burning, not a lot of smoke, and generates a really nice hot charcoal base, which we'll be using to cook our marron. Snap, crackle and pop. Okay, so this is one of the most delicious, easiest camp entrees you can make. So we've got a Tasmanian brie, cherry tomatoes, just chuck those in there, bit of hot Italian cacciatore salami, so that is ready to go in the oven. We're going to pair that with some Thompson Estate 2024 Riesling. I just want to say Thanks to Pam and Terry for letting us stay out on their farm. Get yourselves down here. It is free. Come taste some wines, buy some wine to say thank you, and this is going to be delicious. We've preheated our oven and we just bake this for 25-30 minutes at 180 degrees. So for the marron, it's as simple as some butter and some garlic. We don't have a microwave, so we're going to sit that in some hot water to emulsify. That'll be ready to go. I really want white bread with marron because it's such a delicate sweet flavour. You don't want to overpower it with your dark ryes. It's about the only time we eat white bread is when we eat marron. So I've made the garlic butter. We just sat that over some hot boiling water to get it to melt. So we bought 5 marron today. Marron you can do a few different ways, but the best thing to do with marron is to keep it really simple because the flavour is outstanding by itself. I'd usually just boil it and put in some fresh bread with some balsamic vinegar, but it's our first trip down south in the caravan, so we thought we'd flash it up a little bit for this trip. We're just going to grill it over the jar of coals, which have been burning away for a while now. I've sat there, had a couple of wines, waiting for the coals to get just right. You don't want them too hot because it'll burn it. And we're just going to have it grilled. We're going to put it on some bread and we're going to eat it. And we'll come back when we're ready to do that. Okay. So I've got these coals just perfect now, not too hot. Don't want to burn the shells of the marron because that will put a flavour into them. Get that claw out of the flames. It's nice and even. Today we bought 5 marron. And we paid $60, which isn't too bad. If you went to a restaurant, this would be $200 worth without a problem. But tonight we'll cook it ourselves, and it should be delicious. We just flip them over, just very quickly, just to give that garlic a quick cook, so we're not eating raw garlic. Oh, next goes a claw down, that's alright, we'll get him out of there, don't worry. The claws are actually one of the best bits, so we don't leave that in the fire, we take that out and we're going to eat it. So I've been cooking them for about 8 minutes on the bottom side, and we're going to just give them a couple of minutes here to sear, and then we'll grill up our bread and we're ready to rock and roll. So they're done, they're cooked beautifully. Quickly grill our bread and let's go and eat. This is not going to take long at all. A bit of spray oil. These things are a godsend when you're camping. We'll have some of this bread with the cheese and the tomato on the swan. We haven't forgotten about that. I'll tell you what, that marron's going to be hard to beat. Nice. This should pull out nice and freely from the marron. Look at that. It's got some of that grilled sourdough bread. A whole piece. Look at that. That is so soft and tender. It's like crayfish, a bit better. It's like prawn, a bit better. Alright, we're going to eat that and we'll tell you how good it is afterwards. So here's our brie. Look at that. I'm going to try some of that right now. Bit of fresh tomato. Watch out because it can be lava hot when you first take it out. That's hot. That's delicious.
Okay.
So here we've got the Jarrah grilled marron on the sourdough bread. Let's see how this goes. Oh my god, that's fucking amazing too. And I don't just say that. And excuse me, I've got a mouthful, but you'd pay $1 million for that at a restaurant.
Thanks for watching and joining us on our trip to this beautiful part of the world. We sit back for the rest of the night and just enjoy the flames dancing in the campfire. We didn't catch any carp in the end, which probably isn't a bad thing. I don't reckon. I really like catching goldfish anyway.